Welcome to this Effective Solutions SageCRM Enhancement Spotlight video. In this video, we'll be talking about our Quick Communications Buttons, often referred to as Quick Com buttons. One of the feedback items we typically get from SageCRM users is entering in tasks can be pretty click intensive. So the traditional situation is you'd pull up a person in CRM, review their communications. If you had a conversation with them on the phone, you may want to make an entry. So you'd click on the plus symbol and choose new task, or you can click on the new task button if you're on the communications tab. And then you get to this screen. And from here, this is where it gets click intensive. I may want to say phone out, and I'm doing a check-in call, and I put in my call details here. Call notes go here, and I have to change this to complete because I did complete it, something that happened, and then I can adjust the date and time if I need to. But then after all that, I hit save, and it makes an entry in the system. So if I have to do that 50 or 60 times a day, that gets pretty cumbersome. So what we are able to do is create shortcut buttons, essentially, that just ask you for the main pieces and default the rest. And the example of those shortcut or quick com buttons are down here. Check-in call with subject, check-in call with follow-up. These are three kind of style examples that we can implement for your system. So check-in call is the most basic. If I click on check-in call, it's going to just ask me for the call notes. So here are the call notes for a check-in call button. Everything else is defaulted. The action, the date, time, the user, it marks the status complete. It sets the subject to check-in call. So I'll go ahead and hit save. And there you can see there's the entry for that check-in call button. And all I had to do was enter in the details and it defaulted the rest, right? If you wanted a little more control and you wanted to also be able to enter in the subject, then we can implement a check-in call with subject button. So if I click on that, you'll notice it's prompting me both for the subject and the details. So I could say maybe monthly check-in and check-in call with subject. And when I hit save, once again, it defaults the rest. And there's the entry right there. And then third situation is you may want to do check-ins and you want to have a follow-up. And I want to point out these buttons can be called anything you want them to be, right? So we can make this say quote follow-up as I have here. We can call the button. If you have some internal language you want to use, we can call the button whatever you like. We have control over that. So the third option is I want to do a check-in, but I also want to be able to schedule a follow-up. So I can click on this button and notice it's asking me for the subject. And I'll just put this in the details as well. And then if I want a follow-up task, I'll click the checkbox. I can pick when I want that follow-up. So next week and follow-up call. So now it's going to create two tasks. One, the completed task with my initial call notes, and second, a pending task for this date in the future. I'll hit save and it does both for me. So here you see the check-in with follow-up entry. There's the completed task I can see based on this green check mark. And then secondly, I have this follow-up call, orange check mark. It's a future item scheduled for February 15th as we requested. And then the other thing I want to point out is the buttons can be added to other screens too. So we're on the communications tab. The buttons will typically go there by default. But if I want to make those available, let's say I'm on the person screen and I want to also make those buttons available, we can make the buttons appear in other sections within CRM as well. Most common are communications tab, the person screen, and then if you're doing follow-ups on opportunities, then a lot of times we'll build buttons to show up on the opportunity as well, like a quote follow-up. So if you're interested, if your users are struggling with the clicks that it takes to create the tasks and you want to simplify that, reach out to us and we will coordinate getting these buttons installed and give you a quote on what it would cost. Thank you.